Welcome back, and today we're checking out another death battle. This one is Omni-Man versus Homelander. This was a viewer suggestion, so thank you very much for that. Omni-Man versus Homelander. I have seen The Boys, and I have seen Invincible, so I do know a little bit about both of these characters. But let's go ahead and get into the breakdown, shall we?
Omni-Man, the invincible champion from planet Viltrum.
Homelander, the world's greatest superhero, brought to you by Vought International.
Few heroes have stood the test of time with more aplomb than the very first, Superman. But what if absolute power did, in fact, corrupt absolutely?
Yeah, Homelander and Omni-Man are what is considered to be Superman clones or Superman ripoffs. Lots of characters fall under that category. Omni-Man, Homelander, Gladiator, Hyperion, Ultraman, any various versions of Superman himself, or, ton of characters, but they all fall under that category of Superman clone, those characters that have the same, essentially, powers, abilities as Superman. So
Answer, we're all screwed. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Omni-Man.
Omni-Man!
Had you going there for a second, huh?
Not really. His name is in the title of the video.
Well, you might be forgiven for mistaking Nolan Grayson for his classic comic inspiration. He's even got that sexy mustache that he's not afraid to hide with terrible CGI. Born on the planet Viltrum, Nolan was sent to Earth to act as its superpower.
Oh man, I didn't realize he was over 1,000 years old. That's pretty, okay. All right.
Alien defender and spread the enlightenment of his utopian homeworld.
And as his superhero alter ego Omni-Man, there was no one better suited to the task. He saved the world countless times, worked alongside the Guardians of the Globe, and even married and had a son, Mark.
Life couldn't be better until Mark inherited his dad's Viltrumite powers. That's when Mark found out that his dad was a stinking rat bastard liar.
Turns out, Viltrum wasn't exactly the peaceful utopia Nolan promised.
Peaceful in the sense that they culled half their population, murdering billions with their bare hands until only the strongest were left, united by a common purpose.
This Viltrumite empire then went on to conquer planet after planet in their home galaxy, murdering any who dared oppose them. So just scratch that whole peaceful part entirely.
And turns out
conquering
Omni-Man was
planets.
here to do that same thing to Earth. Sorry, Mark. You're dead.
Oh!
Even worse, he's easily the most powerful being on the entire planet.
Imagine combining the raw power of a Kryptonian and the bloodlust of a Saiyan, and what you get is basically a Viltrumite.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. They're basically Kryptonians and Saiyans kind of mashed together, and instead of getting wild Saiyan hair like Goku and Vegeta and all the rest of them, they get fat mustaches, because apparently the strong male Viltrumites all rock the massive mustache. I guess that's their thing. Instead of crazy Saiyan hair, big fat mustache.
Due to their unique DNA, Viltrumites are composed of smart atoms that they can manipulate.
Also, their clothing, the traditional Viltrumite clothing that you see here, white, very reminiscent of the early versions of Kryptonians, right? The old Christopher Reeves movie, I believe, right? All had the Kryptonians decked out in all white like this. So you can very clearly see the inspiration for Viltrumites.
Manipulate to achieve superhuman feats, like holding their breath for weeks on end by drawing more energy from the oxygen inside them.
Kinda reminds me of that whole bioelectric aura thing Superman has. That's basically how comic writers bullshit a science-y
Don't even get me started on a bioelectric aura for Superman. That's a whole thing.
explanation for his powers.
Except smart atoms make even less sense. How can atomic structure be designated by your DNA? DNA is made of
Yeah,
atoms.
that don't make no
It's
sense.
Completely nonsensical biological hogwash that I cannot stand.
Uh-oh, comics fans. I'm calling this debunked. Viltrumites can fly, withstand near absolute zero temperatures, and even possess insane healing factors. You know, stuff like getting punched through the stomach, having your guts ripped out, or having your face smashed up in a tomato soup. I don't mean to exaggerate, but Viltrumites in this series get fucked up and somehow survive.
However, too much trauma to the brain and heart can overtax their healing factors, and intense heat can be especially damaging.
Even the most powerful Viltrumites can be killed by extended baths in the spicy hot plasma of a star.
And because of their abilities, their inner ear vestibular system is far more sensitive than regular humans. Intense sonic pressure will disrupt their fragile equilibrium and even prevent them from flying.
Though, pushing themselves to their physical limits only ends up making them way stronger. And considering Nolan has been alive and planet conquering for thousands of years, he is easily one of the toughest Viltrumites around. Like, other aliens attacking him will literally splatter their bodies.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, just being so strong that when people try and like run at you, their bodies just splatter against your solid mass.
Against him. But Mark didn't inherit everything from his dad. Despite his alien genes, Mark was raised as a human with our weak, pathetic human values like love and compassion and not brutally murdering the shit out of everyone you see like a maniac.
Oh.
Really made it difficult for Nolan to
That
raise
episode,
those kids.
man.
Such as when these aliens invaded Earth. Mark tried his best to minimize casualties and outsmart his numerically superior foes.
Nolan, meanwhile, tackled their leader through the portal back to their homeworld, then spent some time systematically annihilating their planet for even daring to take Earth from him. Classic generational divide.
Annihilate is underselling it. Nolan flew so fast that his body lit their planet's atmosphere on fire, creating massive country-sized explosions, with his own body as the projectile.
Omni-Man has flown across galaxies in only a week, survived punching a hole through a planet, and even deflected a meteor the size of Texas.
Assuming that means the diameter of the meteor is equivalent to the distance from the top of the Panhandle to the Gulf of Mexico, that would make it 1,300 kilometers wide.
And weigh over 4.6 quintillion tons. Moving at re-entry speeds of over 11,000 meters per second, it had hit with enough energy to destroy the moon twice over.
So Omni-Man is strong enough to slaughter those who considered him an ally, the Guardians of the Globe, all to ensure as seamless a transition to the coming Viltrumite rule as possible.
Too bad for Nolan, it wouldn't be that easy, because he'd have to go through his son first.
Mark was horrified by his father's treachery, spurred on by the reveal that Nolan only viewed his mother as a pet, a disposable broodmare. Invincible fought Omni-Man to save the planet.
And that's when Mark's real Viltrumite training began. Get it?
Oh.
Training?
Oh, the
Yes,
train
we
scene.
get it. It was a good pun. Jesus.
But if anything,
Totally
it was
brutal.
Omni-Man that learned a lesson about humanity that day.
He may have tried to turn Mark into a Viltrumite, but in reality, as Nolan fled Earth with tears in his eyes, Mark made his father human.
Okay, so that was a little breakdown on Omni-Man. Yeah, Omni-Man's a beast, man. Viltrumites are beasts. Total warrior culture, you know, survival of the fittest. The strong are the ones that survive. Yeah, man, total beast mode. It does seem like he does have a couple weaknesses that you could consider them: extreme heat and ultrasonic noise. But I don't know. I will say that as far as Superman clones go, I really like Omni-Man. He's got a very solid design. The backstory kind of varies enough from Kryptonians to where it's got its own flavor. And yeah, dude, his costume design is on point, man. The white and the red and the whole design of it, very sleek and clean looking. Just, I love it. Total chef's kiss. Anyways, let's break it down for Homelander next.
Welcome to Vought International, a multi-billion-dollar American conglomerate whose #1 products are the greatest superheroes on the face of the earth.
That's right, superheroes are real and they're big business.
Imagine a company that possesses a monopoly on popular culture, pumping out movies, TV shows, action figures, and video games constantly, drowning the masses in a slurry of focused nostalgia opium with no end in sight.
Yeah,
Yeah, just imagine, right? There's no way a company like that could possibly exist in the real world. Right, Disney?
Imagine.
Within Vought's pantheon of gods among men is their premier super team, the Seven, and its leader, Homelander.
He's got the looks, the charm, the Jesus, and most importantly, he's got the power to slaughter all of America's enemies at home and abroad. This guy probably eats freedom and shits eagles.
But Homelander's squeaky clean corporate sheen is only skin deep. Far from the big blue Boy Scout he's marketed as, Homelander is probably the closest thing to Lucifer on Earth.
Remember Bad Future Biff from Back to the Future? Now give him superpowers and media training.
Vought's official story is that Homelander was an alien who landed here as a baby, a tale we're all familiar with.
And one that's total bullshit. Homie was made in a lab with Vought's
Homie was
proprietary
made in a
super
lab.
soldier serum, Compound V.
And he was a complete success.
Too much of a success. He was murdering rooms of terrified scientists before his umbilical cord was even cut. In the comics, Vought had to keep a remote-controlled hydrogen bomb strapped to him at all times because they had no idea what else could possibly kill him.
As he grew up, he was subjected to psychological conditioning to make him the greatest and most profitable hero of all time.
It wasn't long before he debuted as Homelander, the ultimate defender of the American dream.
Homelander possesses massively superhuman strength, speed, and durability. He can fly at hypersonic speeds, see through walls with X-ray vision, and detect a person's emotional state from just the sound of their heartbeat.
But you know you're done
Okay.
for when he breaks out his heat vision, which is strong enough to slice through crowds of people or split airplanes in half.
Or screams so loud that it shatters the eardrums of anyone around him.
Those are innocent bystanders whose
Alright,
ears
it's
are
a potential
exploding, by
weapon
the
right
way.
there.
Oh yeah, he totally botched this mission to stop a plane hijacking, so he forced each and everyone on board to die in the resulting crash so they wouldn't reveal his incompetence.
Well, Homelander's powers may be real, but his heroism is a charade. Though he plays his part well, he cares nothing for the peons he's forced to protect.
The only thing he treasures is, ironically, his public image. Turns out being raised as a lab experiment doesn't create a healthy person. But don't worry, he eventually cleaned up his act and started a totally 100% healthy sexual relationship with a fellow superhero, who just happened to be an actual Nazi. Speaking of sex, Wiz, you know how I always
Oh,
say
Nazis.
we should figure out how Superman and Lois get busy? Well, forget that, because Homelander proved that they can't when his ejaculation blew his partner to smithereens. Who proved that?
Look, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Considering a human's load has much less mass than a shotgun pellet, it would have to be moving significantly faster to achieve the same kinetic energy, over 1,500 meters per second, or 4.5 times faster than sound.
That's right. Homelander can bust a nut faster than the speed of sound. Well, good night, everybody. Ooh, kinda sucks for humanity that they made this dude the most powerful being on the planet and a psycho murderer.
That's no exaggeration. Stillwell even commented that Homelander has proven immune to every weapon known to mankind, no matter how powerful. Humanity literally lacks the ability to kill him.
That'd include nuclear weapons as powerful as the Tsar bomb, which exploded with the energy of 50 megatons of TNT.
Actually, it could have exploded with twice that. But the Soviets who created it were afraid it would irreversibly alter Earth's biosphere and end the world. That's right, we all almost died.
And that's the kind of shit Homelander can shrug off no problem. He's strong enough to throw a jet with one hand and fast enough to outspeed a C4 explosion.
Despite being an emotionally stunted man-child, Homelander is still surprisingly cunning and able to manipulate those around him.
Though it probably wasn't too smart to piss off the world's angriest limey, Billy Butcher. Yeah, turns out forcibly fathering a bastard son with someone else's wife is not a good idea.
Of note, as unjustifiable as it is, to Homelander, this gave him something he never had before. Some small measure of control over his own life.
Being born Vought's star pupil meant he was under their thumb from the day he was born. His superpowered son was the first thing that was truly his and might be his best option for a new beginning. Or not.
All right, that was the breakdown on Homelander. Homelander's all right. I mean, he's definitely a monster. There's no question about that, and he's certainly capable of an immense amount of destruction. His outfit, yeah, leans heavy into the American theme, but I mean, his name is Homelander. He's American made, like he's a product essentially. So that makes sense. I definitely like Omni-Man's outfit better. I think it's sleeker, cleaner, kind of adheres more to the whole Superman feel type thing. Um, Homelander does have heat vision, and he does have that supersonic voice scream thing that he can do. So he does have some weapons that he could take against Omni-Man. However, my prediction for this fight is going to have to be Omni-Man based solely on what we see him do in the show. Between the end of episode 1, where he takes on the Guardians, and where he fights the Flaxen invasion and just wrecks their homeworld, that alone shows that he is capable of so much more than anything I've seen Homelander do in the show. While Homelander is the toughest guy in the room in his world, I think he still pales in comparison to Omni-Man. Oh, okay, cool. Looks like they have a completely custom animation for this.
Neighbor. Coco, it's warm. You know, Nolan, Homelander is more than just a superhero. It might be cynical to say this, but he's a brand. And it's very important to me that that brand means something. And if I'm playing second fiddle to some goddamn alien, what's really the point, right? What do you think, Debbie? Aw, she's shy.
Ooh.
So do we have an...
See, I know they said Omni-Man basically only views his wife more as a pet than like person or an equal. However, on the flip side of that, I'll tell you right now, if you came to my house and you killed my pet, dude, I'm going full John Wick on you. Like, yeah. And if I had superpowers, yeah, it's over. I mean, I think Homelander may have just made a big mistake by doing that.
An understanding? Get the fuck out of my country.
I'm going to feed you your own heart.
Shit. That was a great line.
I like how they're kicking it off with the music. Very
Seriously? I'm not here for your country.
This is the same kind of music they use in Invincible when their fight scenes are popping off. Ah, is he gonna train him? No, okay. I thought he was gonna hit him. Thought he was gonna do the train thing.
Never been hit by someone your own size before? You have to turn with the punch to reduce. Better.
Hey, whoever wins this fight, whoever loses, the real losers are the general public, because you got two supermen here that don't care about civilians at all. So, yeah.
What's the matter? Are you going to cry?
After I'm done with you, I'm gonna flash right that little shit son of yours! This worthless neighborhood! And every goddamn person you know!
Oh, get wrecked. Oh, man.
Remember what I promised you. Now swallow.
Now swallow.
Merry Christmas.
Oh man. Oh, that was brutal.
Oh, Wiz, if there's a god, it sure seems like he was working out some aggression there.
Oh man. Yeah, so kind of went down the way I thought it was going to go. I didn't realize that Homelander was going to get stomped so bad. I thought he was going to put up a better fight. I mean, the only thing he really was able to do was make his ears bleed with the scream, which I didn't think that the scream attack was gonna. I didn't think that was gonna be a game changer. I thought that might be something that gives him, temporarily stuns Omni-Man so that he could follow through with something else. And the heat vision he had, that's something Omni-Man didn't have, but Viltrumites can, fight close to a star, So I don't think Homelander is going to be able to output that kind of heat, at least long enough to do anything. So yeah, kind of went down the way I thought. Really impressed though with the animation and whatnot. I like the fact that they had a custom animation. I think the big thing here is not only is Omni-Man clearly stronger than Homelander, it's a matter of mentality between the two of them. Omni-Man comes from a warrior culture, a warrior race, conquerors. His civilization goes out and conquers entire planets, entire civilizations. Omni-Man knows how to fight. He knows how to square off against someone who's just as strong as he is, and he understands the physical mechanics of fighting. As where Homelander, I don't even think Homelander knows how to fight. I don't think he has any kind of training as far as fighting technique goes, because Homelander is used to being the strongest guy in the room at all times, regardless of who he's around. He's always used to being the strongest, toughest, most impervious person in the room. And in his world, he is the toughest guy in the world. But when you compare him to other Superman clones like Omni-Man, he just lacks a lot, honestly. He's mentally unstable. He's like I said, he physically doesn't understand the mechanics of combat the same way some of these other guys do. And if Homelander is incapable of overtaking someone just by brute force and raw power, I don't think he really has that much to offer in a fight. So, yeah.
Despite Homelander's dominance within the world,
Holy cow, look at those numbers. 7.2 billion times faster, 60 billion times stronger. I did not think that it was going to be that wide of a gap, but man.
world of the boys, he's a big fish in a small pond, relatively speaking. Homelander can move faster than sound, while Omni-Man can move faster than light. Homelander can survive a nuke, while Omni-Man can shatter the moon twice over.
To be fair, Homelander did have a couple of abilities Omni-Man didn't, like his heat vision.
And while Viltrumite healing factors have failed against continuous exposure to the heat of stars, that still took quite a bit of time.
It's not hot
and
enough.
There's no reason to think Homelander's heat vision was anywhere near that hot.
Hell, Nolan's tanked heat vision from the superhero Mean Supreme before, who can vaporize people in an instant.
Even if it was hot enough, Omni-Man's superior speed would cut him off before he could do any lasting damage. Similarly, despite being able to disrupt his equilibrium with his supersonic screaming, Homelander wasn't strong enough to capitalize on it in any meaningful way.
Plus, while Homelander is pretty devious when the situation calls for it, Omni-Man has been fighting and conquering worlds for thousands of years. He comes from a warrior culture based on fighting.
Yeah, dude.
Homelander, on the other hand, comes from a test tube and never had to push himself as a fighter because he was always so much stronger than everyone else.
And that's the key difference between them. One is a warrior, and the other is a bully. Homelander was never...
Yo, right there. They just summed up the entire death battle in one sentence. one of these guys is a warrior and the other one is a bully. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Homelander's a bully who is used to just being able to push people around and nobody can do. Um, and when you put him up against someone like Omni-Man, even if they were the exact same levels of strength and speed, I still think Omni-Man would win because he has combat experience, while Homelander is basically just, you know, one of those kids that acts tough, and then at the first instance that something doesn't go right, he just starts screaming and flailing uncontrollably. That's basically what Homelander is.
Never going to give up easy, but Omni-Man's skill, power, and Viltrumite heritage earned him the win.
When it comes to Superman knockoffs, Homelander had to eat his heart out.
The winner is Omni-Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. Yeah, I love doing these death battles, guys. I love the way they break it down. I love the way that they go into a breakdown of each character beforehand. They lay out a fight for you to kind of visualize it, and then they explain their reasoning after the fact. I really enjoy these because it reminds me of something that I used to do back in the day with an old friend of mine. We would play superhero roulette, basically. And we would go to the superpower Wikipedia page, or the superpower wiki, and we would open up 3 tabs each. I would open up 3 random tabs. He would open up 3 random tabs. We would take a look at the powers that we got. So, you know, for instance, I would look at my list and go, okay, I got teleportation and water manipulation and time manipulation. And he would have spatial manipulation, fire manipulation, and a healing factor. And then we would sit down, take a look at what I had, take a look at what he had, and then we would have a nice little debate about how that fight would go down, who would win, why, what was the reasoning behind it, you know, what creative ways could each person use their abilities to potentially win this fight. And so these death battles, they remind me of doing that. And me and my buddy were doing this like 15, 20 years ago. So to see something like Death Battle where they kind of do the same thing, I really enjoy it. So if you guys got more death battles, you know, what are the good ones? What are some of the ones that I should check out? What are the ones that you guys like? Because I really enjoy doing these. Right now, I got this one right, and I got the last one wrong, so I got 1 win, 1 loss. If you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know which death battle you want me to check out next, or if there's some other kind of video out there you want me to check out, leave it down below in the comments and we will get to it. Until next time, guys, thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.